Hello, hello. I am actually logging in about 4 or 5 minutes early just to make sure everything is working and is all set up properly. Oh, we have our people already logged in. Yeah, go ahead and say hello and tell me where you're logging in from. How's it going today? I'm, of course, in um, Los Angeles, California. I think we were like in the 60s today, but our nights are warming up. So it's actually been pretty nice here in LA. Um, I can see myself on the mirror and my hair feels lopsided, but it's all good. It'll work for today. Hello, hello. Everyone's logging in. Good to see everyone. Have everyone on. Yeah, we'll get started like promptly um, at 1 o'clock. And I am connected to a mic here, and it's my first time with this setup. So please do tell me if you can't hear me correctly or if my audio is weird in any way. Hopefully, this will be better than the computer microphone. Northern Virginia. We have Yvette in Ohio, Laura from Oregon. Hello, everyone. Dr. Hill didn't tell us where she was from, but she said hi. Christine from Oregon as well. Betsy, hello, hello. She's also in the Southern California area. Robin is in Utah. In Utah, Betsy said Mike is okay, good. Oh, Dr. Hill's in Philly. Welcome. Hello from Massachusetts. Hi, Karen. Francois from Italy. Oh, very cool. Hi, Teresa. Teresa Coates is logging in with Crinkle Dream Studio. And we have Peggy from California. Florida checking in. Everyone, oh, we have people from all over. So exciting. Alberta, Canada. Hi, Anita. Anita's in New York. She's one of my favorite designers. I love the way her mind works. It's amazing. Trish, hello from sunny North Carolina. Colleen from New Mexico checking in. Oh, U.S. Virgin Islands. Very cool. I finally visited last year and fell in love. Carolyn from the UK, Edinburgh. Mindy from Henderson, Nevada. Oh, so cool. We have people from all over. So happy to have everyone on today. Rebecca is from Idaho, Missouri, Philadelphia. We have Renee. Oh, goodness, we have people from all over. So fun. And just like a minute to go, we'll let people log in, and then we'll dive right in to showing you and telling you about all the things. Hello from Central Illinois, CP. Kelly is in Colorado, Fort Collins. Barbara's in Alamo, Texas. Barbara, I lived in Texas a number of years, so as soon as I go down, I fall right back into the y'alls and all the rest. Kelly, she says Fort Collins. Okay, I see, wrote it down further. And Barb is in North Carolina. Very, very, very good. And it is 1 o'clock. And Diane, hi from Silver Springs, Maryland. So yeah, half rectangle triangle magic class. It went by really quickly, and I have some things that I think will make you happy. I'll talk about them a little bit later on. For those of you who didn't really get a chance to dive into working through the pattern or even want to review the videos a little bit more. But the videos today are all about the HuRTy. So the HuRTy one was the very first HuRTy that came out. And I knew and had planned from the beginning a HuRTy 2 or 3. And some of you have been asking me for it because I put it on the packaging. Okay. But I wanted to be sort of deliberate about how I put the rulers out into the world. Because I knew for a fact a lot of people were telling me, I bought the HuRTy, I watched the videos, I have some of the patterns, but it was like this one still in the packaging. So I wanted to create some different programs and things that could get you guys to rip the packaging open and to grab your rotary cutter and really dive into playing with the HuRTy. I designed this actually a while ago. So even before the HuRTy one came out, it been kind of an idea in the back of my head for a long time about how can we make half rectangle triangles easier. So I designed one of the earliest tutorials online for making the 2 at a time version of half rectangle triangles. It was a tutorial I did for the Modern Quilt Guild back in the early days, about 14 probably years ago. And this is before they became as popular as they are now. I'm seeing them more and more in patterns that are coming out and things, which I'm really excited about, super excited about. So, but back then, they weren't as popular, or weren't being used as much. There wasn't very much information online. So I created this tutorial, posted it to the Modern Quilt Guild webpage. And sometimes we make assumptions about things because of how our brains work. So I assume people would know how. Christina asks, is live scratchy or my internet? So to everyone else, let me know how the video is coming through in the audio, and I'll keep chatting. So a lot of times we make assumptions. I made the assumption that people would sort of know how to square it up, and it turned out that they didn't. People were like, your tutorial sucks. They didn't quite say that, but a few people did fuss. So with that being said, I made a few adjustments to that tutorial, and I included things like marking the 1/4 inch from your corners and that type of thing. And that seemed to help a lot. And if you see a version of that tutorial on the internet, most likely it was pretty much copied from my original tutorial. The problem was because I'm a firm believer in not buying too much stuff, because we always have way too much stuff in our craft space, and we love to buy new gadgets and toys. But I want to buy a tool if it is only if it is going to really make a difference in my crafting, my sewing, my world. If it's really going to be a drastic difference between what I was doing before without it. And so that's what I attempt to do, and I try to make these multifunctional tools that we can use for many things. Okay, so with that being said, I planned the HuRTy 2 and 3. But I wanted to release the HuRTy 2 and 3 in a way that you could really take advantage of not being afraid diving with the HuRTy. So I did the free class, which is Half Rectangle Triangle Magic, to show you all that it's not that difficult. I even showed you how to do it the original way, and then we went into playing with the HuRTy 2. And then we ended up making this beauty right here. Now, some of you have seen that I posted on Instagram and on Facebook as well, that I'm not quite sure how to quilt it. So it's still in my quilt top stage. Oh, we have a lot of black and white going on here, but it's still in the quilt top stage. But I really wish you could see this in person, because it is actually really striking in person. So you can sort of see scale in comparison to my body. I'm going to hold it up for you. Now, we're kind of limited as far as how much you can see on camera, but we're going to go ahead and hold it up and sort of show you some bits and pieces of this, so you can sort of see scale. And I've really had a lot of fun with that, and I wanted you to sort of be able to play with it and encourage creativity. So I sort of framed it as design your own. So hope some of you got a chance to play with that. Has anybody? First of all, did anybody on this call do the test blocks? Did we do let's play and make a couple of sample blocks? So chime in and let me know in the chat. And if you did or did not, did you get a chance to play with the HuRTy pattern as well? Started them yesterday, perfect. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in just a few minutes. So, and then I had someone ask me, how do you design the tools? So test blocks work well. I did. Started planning a HuRTy, perfect. My number one fan from Princeton. I don't know, that sounds a little sketch. I'm just joking. I know who that is. Yes, made several. Okay, perfect. So now I want to talk about some people ask about how do I design the tool. So learning how to design a tool like this is all about understanding the why. how it goes together, why, and understanding the angles. And so a lot of these, that's where my engineering background really helped out a lot. I knew I would use that degree for something. But I sort of take that and then throw it all in the back of my head. And like, I understand what the problem is, what makes it difficult now, and what I want as a goal. Throw it in the back of my head, and then ideas start to pop up, and then I start to test and test and test. And I don't know that I can verbalize all of my process because a lot of it happens sort of behind the scenes in the back of my head. So anyway, so this is what we end up with. Really, 3 really fun tools. So I really wanted to create something that would make you guys be proficient with using the tools. So what I decided to do, and I'm really, really excited about this, is instead of just releasing the HuRTy 2 and 3 with patterns, and the patterns are due at my tech editor in 2 weeks, and hopefully they'll hit the shelves in July. But for right now, I wanted to go ahead and release it in a way that we're playing actively with our half rectangle triangle, with our HuRTy rulers, 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do is we're having a mystery quilt. And of course, I don't have anything to show you because it is a mystery. The name of the mystery quilt is called Triumphant. So it's a Triumphant mystery quilt. And we're going to use the HuRTy 1, 2, and 3 in the Triumphant mystery quilt. Now, this is something I normally wouldn't do in a $13 pattern that gets sold inside of quilt shops because I don't want to kind of force you to buy all of the rulers in order to make one single pattern. But with the mystery quilt and the fact that I know all of you love the HuRTys already, have the 1, and want to add the 2 and 3 to your arsenal, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to do a quilt with all of the HuRTys combined. What's really, really exciting about the mystery quilt is there's 2 different techniques that I've been working on perfecting. And one is quarter rectangle triangles. So just like quarter square triangles, but quarter rectangle triangles. The beauty with I'm going to backtrack. Making quarter rectangle triangles without a HuRTy is even more difficult than making quarter. Okay, I'm mixing myself. Half rectangle triangles. So I have figured out how to use the HuRTy to make it, and it works brilliantly. So that's a technique that I will teach for the first time in the Triumphant mystery quilt class. The second thing that the HuRTy, now anybody who's been following me for any length of time knows that I like to go big. If I have to make a design decision and want to question like where I am with something, I must say, can I go bigger with it? And there's some fun things you can do to go bigger. So I figured out how to make half rectangle triangles beyond the limitations of the HuRTy rulers as well. So those are 2 techniques that you're all gonna learn if you choose to join the Triumphant mystery quilt class that you'll learn for the first time. And I'll be teaching them for the first time. I'll share them at some point later with the greater world, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun. So the Triumphant mystery quilt is being sold in a package and I've sent an email to everyone. I'll actually include in the chat here the link to the page that you can go to see like all of the specials and that type of thing for the release. I'm actually honoring 10% off of everything on my website, but including classes, everything except for I think my sample quilts. So definitely take a chance to click the link, or it should be in your inbox as well in your email. So it's going to be an 8-week class. It starts on May the 14th. So I wanted everyone to get a chance, even our international quilters who are joining and want to join in, give them a chance to be able to get their HuRTy 2 and 3 in before we actually start. The very first class is going to be on selecting fabric. I may post some things early to get you started. But what I've decided to do, and I think this is going to make some of you happy, is that I've decided to go ahead and add everything that we've gone over. So the videos, the HuRTy pattern, the PDF, and everything else, decided to move that all over as a bonus with the Triumphant quilt class. And so that is in the classroom waiting for you right now. And the beauty is that you can play and work on playing with that half rectangle triangle even before class starts. So it's already loaded, and the Triumphant quilt itself is, we'll say coming soon, but it's already loaded in the classroom. So if you choose to purchase it, and then that's a really nice bonus, because it was planned to be pulled after the end of this sort of free class time, and that gives you an opportunity. It also will be the Triumphant quilt class after we've gone through all 8 sessions, as well as the HuRTy or the half rectangle triangle magic class will both reside in that space. I'm always hesitant to say forever, because we know what happens with life and time, but it will be there as long as my website is around, which I intend for it to be there for a while. So definitely check that link out. So the other thing that over the last year, these 2 patterns have been made, but I didn't sort of have it planned into a release yet. And so we have 2 HuRTy 1 patterns. Now, I want to remind everyone that HuRTy 1 is the only quilt, it's HuRTy ruler right now that has standalone printed and PDF patterns. So HuRTy 2 and 3, they're literally on the drawing board. I'm frantically working behind the scenes to get everything to my tech editor so we can take the next step and get it all polished up and pretty for you. And we have a mid-July release date on the HuRTy 2 and 3 patterns. But I have 2 more HuRTy 1 patterns I want to share with you. Some of you saw them at QuiltCon. I've taught them in events a time or 2 last year. But the first quilt I will share with you is our Shady Side quilt. And these, like I said, both use the HuRTy 1. And I don't have a ton of space, so I'll show you as much as I can, and then I'll share images online later for all of you. So this is the Shady Side quilt, and this is the one that made it to the cover, and it's all in solids. And this quilt is slightly intense just in the quantity of half. So we have sort of these elongated flying geese made with half rectangle triangles. And if you look up closer, you'll see, and I'll show you with a different quilt that has different fabrics in it. It's made with 2 2-inch by 4-inch half rectangle triangles. And so if I zoom back some, I'll try to hold it up for you. You'll get to see a little bit of the scope of the quilt. Y'all know I'm short. Anybody that's met me in person knows I'm really short. So there we go. So, and I really like this quilt because it has so many possibilities. So this is an all solids version, and I did choose to make this version with all solids and the same fabrics on both the left and right sides of that half rectangle triangle. But making these samples is when I really understood the power of squaring it up, right? So that one, I was in a rush to get my cover done. So I rushed through squaring those up. And there's a lot of half rectangle triangles in that quilt. And my points are not perfect. It made it to the cover still. They're okay enough for that. But that's when I realized that I need to just slow down, take a deep breath, put a good audiobook on or some music, and take my time squaring them up. So you'll hear me talking about that's where you get your precision, is in squaring them up. So this next one, I went through my Anna Maria Horner stash. I have a stash from a couple of different designers, and when I want to work on something really fun and saturated, then that's who I go to. So let's go a little closer here. That's sort of upside down. Maybe I'll flip it over so you can see it right side up. So that's Anna Maria Horner. So now you see they're both all saturated. So from afar, you can't tell as much. But in this case, you can see the 2 different fabrics on each side, and it creates really dynamic. Now, I did choose to do one color on the opposite side for the solids, but I could have equally done it scrappy here as well. So this is Shady Side using the HuRTy 1. I'll try to open it up some for you. but I'll share pictures online though for all of these. And technically the dark goes on the top and the lights on the sides. So that's a really fun one that I like. And then I thought, what if I dove deep into the scrappy? So in this case, I pulled out my, I'm not going to be able to, I'm going to toss this so I can have room. So in this case, I put out my Ruby Star and the OG cotton and steel fabrics. And I decided the same thing. So I went, did sort of this dark medium. And I was pretty deliberate about colors here. So it looks really, really, really scrappy. I'll step back first. It looks scrappy, but you'll see that on sort of the one side, it's sort of dark and one side is sort of medium, or it skews a medium. Maybe if I step back, you can see it a little bit better. So I was sort of deliberate about color and placement. But my favorite thing about this quilt is the sort of neutral light color side. I did this hot and neon pink on, most of them are like a natural fabric ground or whatever. Look at that. Isn't that fun? And it looks great in person. For whatever reason, that neon pink does not like to photograph very well. But I really, really love this quilt. And that is my, I make generous, my sizes are always big on my quilts, so that's a baby. It's a large baby. So you can really have fun with that. So now, if you don't want to take like a lot of time squaring up, if you want a quick sew, then your other alternative is to do Notorious. Now, I try to play with scaling up and scaling down and use different half rectangle triangles and all of that. And at the end of the day, it wanted to be a one size quilt. So this is a throw quilt only. It's 60 by 60. I personally think it'll be stunning if you extend whatever backgrounds, whatever. Betty, I see your comment. I'll make a comment and I'll respond to that in just a little bit. But to extend the background fabric and make it bigger, and then the star sort of shape will fall in the middle of your quilt. So this is the cover quilt from Notorious, and this is one of those. It's really good to see it in person. I'm finding what direction to hold it up, but it really doesn't matter because it's sort of the same, and these are solids or solids and woven fabrics. So this is Notorious. Once again, scale. So this is a traditional block. It's just blown up really, really, really large. The beauty of this is that it uses 6 by 12 half rectangle triangles. And so you're squaring up all the way around the outside of that ruler. And I love, love, love it so much. So that's the first Notorious. I think I have one or two more to show you. This one is fun because I threw in some rounded corners. I grabbed my giant clammies, which a few of you have, and I rounded my corners, which I kind of like. And I rounded my corners, which I kind of like a lot on this. It adds a really interesting dimension to it. And pick one or two of these are prints, so you can see it up close. Ah, I'm going the wrong way. There we go. So one or two of these are prints. The rest are solids. So that's another version of Notorious. And then I'm always asking either a process or a quilt or a pattern, what else can we do with it? Oh, yes. Kay Jordan said the quilting you could do a Notorious. Wow, right? You could have a lot of fun because there's large pieces, a lot of negative space on it. And also, I think that it'll feature, I've never done one with the really large focal prints either, but I think it'll feature those well as well. But I always wonder how we can throw a little bit of fussy cutting in, or directional fabric, which I talk about in the HuRTy video. So if you want to play with one-way directional fabric, I don't recommend people start there because it's the A and B and the different angles and everything are confusing anyway. But I do, if you, I highly encourage it. And I opted to do it on one of the well, actually two of the paddles have directional fabric. So this is my, let's see if you can see the big one first, and then I'll pull back. So I used a bunch of cotton, Ruby Star Society, but we have directional fabric. It's hard to see because they're yellows, but here on the blouses are directional. And so you have to piece it two different ways in order to get your fabric to be directional on your quilt. So it's fun. And so she said, I'm starting to pixelate on the video. Is it looking bad for anyone else? Okay, now I think we've lost everyone. we're down to 6 people in the chat. I do apologize. I know Zoom went down completely earlier today, and then I am back. Zoom went down completely earlier today. Then I went directly through YouTube to record, and I don't know what happens. The funny thing is, this morning, all of our electricity in the house went off for literally like a minute, but I really started to freak out. I'm like, this is the day I'm supposed to go live. So I think some of you are seeing me. Kelly, can you see me? I see a couple of people say that they can see me now. So I was just about finished too. I think I showed you my last quilt. Oh, now I can. Perfect. Okay. So sorry about that, everyone. But especially when we go live, I think that's when the world really start to we're going to show you who's in charge here. So anyway, so those are all the quilts. We have the 2 HuRTys. People are hopping back on. Thank you so much for being patient with that glitch in the middle of the live. But I have, I went and did a count on my HuRTys. I've updated my inventory on the website. So hopefully most of you who will order and want to order will be able to. If you cannot, can we buy the pattern? Okay, I'm gonna scroll back through and answer questions in just a minute. But if you already have the HuRTy 1, 2, and 3, some of you either picked them up at Stitching Post last year when I did taught the half rectangle triangle design school there, and some of you picked it up at QuiltCon. You do need all 3 HuRTys for this mystery quilt. So when you need all 3 HuRTys for this mystery quilt. So if you have them all, you can purchase just the class itself if you want to join. And you can post things and purchase things individually. So if you have the HuRTy 1, I have the packaged already with HuRTy 2 and 3 only, and also have another package with HuRTy 1, 2, and 3. So just take your time and look at it, and it shows. I will be shipping. I'll start packaging things today. Things will actually be dropped off at the post office on Monday. I'm giving myself time to get things all queued up and ready to go because it gets to be a lot to ship, and I do it by myself mostly, and sometimes I get my little cousins to help me out. So we're doing that. And so anyway, I want to say thank you to all of you for kind of always going along with me on my journey, and around with all of my crazy ideas. Shipping here to the Virgin Islands is a nightmare. Unfortunately, shipping anywhere these days is a nightmare, especially outside of the United States. And that's all I'm going to say on that, or else I'll get upset. Okay, let me see if I can scroll through on some of the comments and questions here from the chat. Can we buy the pattern for the black and white quilt that you've been showing recently? The black and white quilt is called HuRTy Purdy. So that was the free quilt in the class that we just had leading up to this release. It is included. It's not a full of patterns, so it's not as detailed as some of my other patterns, and it has lots of ideas on how you can change things up. So, but it is everything that was included in the class. The videos, there's 6 videos and a bunch of PDFs that you can download, including the printed version of that pattern. It's included in the as a bonus in the Triumphant mystery quilt class as well. So it should all be there already, and you can find it there actually immediately. You can go there and download it. Okay, so people are back on. Perfect. And I'll be wrapping up in just a moment. Someone had mentioned before that they had a question about pressing. I believe I covered pressing in class number 2. So email me. So what I talked through as far as pressing was concerned, specifically with the HuRTy pattern, was that I press my row block rows. So the individual rows within the block. So this is based on 12-inch blocks. So this would be the block row right here. So I press those, but I leave all the rows separate until I'm sewing together my quilt rows. So when I sew my quilt rows together, that's when I decide how I'm going to press them, because this really does fit together nicely when I press in opposite directions and nest my seams. So definitely take a look back through the videos, and I go through that in a little bit more detail. Okay, let's see. Do we have any other questions, or is there anything that anyone asked that I didn't answer? Everything should be queued up. You can purchase things individually or purchase the package. I will be shipping. I'll throw in a couple of fun things, probably one of my stickers that I had at QuiltCon, and a postcard and that kind of fun stuff that I always throw in. If you purchase the bundles, and I think that's all. Let's see if anyone has questions. Thank you so much for... You don't have to buy the HuRTy 2 and 3 separately, but you can. So if you look at the very first thing on site, when you click on the link to show everything, if you click on that very first link, then it'll show you 2 options when it's bundled. The class plus either the HuRTys 2 and 3, because that's often what people need, or the class in all 3 if you don't have any of them. And then if you scroll down further on that page, you have the options of buying the HuRTy 1, 2, or 3 separately as well. So, okay, thank you. I will see your website. Your work is amazing. Thank you so much. I love all your religion unique patterns. Thank you for all you do for the quilting community. Thank you, Jessie. I'm so excited about this. I love the wild angles, but my mouse skills, I feel great about these rulers. Perfect. That's what I wanted to do. Perfect. Looking forward to the class. I'm excited about it as well. This is my first time doing a mystery quilt on my own, but I thought it was the perfect format for us to sort of take our time, because the other thing that this offers is a chance to have community, right? It's something about the power of us sewing together. So if you don't see the 2 and 3 bundled together, Kate Jordan, you can buy them individually, and the discount is the same across. So the bundle doesn't give you, and during this sale, they're all discounted 10%. So even if you buy the 2 and 3 separately, the bundle is called, let me look at it really quick for you. So even if you buy the 2 and 3 separately, the bundle is called, let me look at it really quick for you. The bundle is called the HuRTy Magic Bundle. That includes the class. Or you can buy that's the HuRTy Magic Bundle if you want to buy the class too. Okay, so I'm all in. Lynn says, signed up and can't wait. Enjoyed the cruise with you. Oh, yes, we did do Notorious. That was fun on the cruise. We had so many great Notorious quilts that came out of that. Love this idea. Woohoo, great deals. Okay, perfect. So if you have any issues or problems, send me an email. I'll be online the next day or two. Oh, you've inspired me now that I have a plan for my Yvonne and Lenny. Oh, I'm working on a Sarah quilt too, and I had my lineage spread all over the floor, and I also was able to get the counter early too for Yvonne's too, Anita. So I'm excited about that too. Sandra, thank you. Looking forward to starting this quilt. Karen just signed up for the mystery class, and Rooster Quilter just signed up as well. So thanks everyone. Thanks for being patient while we were down and I was trying to figure out how to get back online. Send questions to me. All my forever thanks to you, and we will chat soon. And I'll see you all over in the mystery quilt class and on Facebook as well. Thank you. Yes, Betsy, you got a discount buying 2 and 3 separately. Yeah, everything is discounted. So even if you want to add a t-shirt in or stickers, or if you need an extra clammy or another pattern, that's all discounted 10% as well, specifically for the sale. You have to add it to your cart and you'll see the discount in your cart. Okay, perfect. Thanks everybody. Have a great rest of the day.